So I'm aware that some people might think that maybe my philosophy is a little out there. And to be honest, I'm not saying that it's not, but this has worked for me, is knowing these things that a lot of people tend to disregard. They're taught to ignore their intuition and to allow it to go dormant. But in reality, the intuition is the leading soul compass. That is the compass of your soul that is going to guide you to where you're going to end up in life, where your life path is. It's wherever your heart is. It's wherever your heart is leading you to go is where you should go. Because when I came out here, I had not an inkling that I would be where I am today. So when I took the leap of faith to leave my home to go to a different state, I did not expect the things that are happening to me today that would happen to me. In that time, I was in a very dark place, and I was trying to build something for myself, have something for myself that I could depend on, so that I wouldn't have to rely on people. I wouldn't have to depend and feel the tolerance, feeling like people didn't care to have me around, but just tolerated me. As a child, I was tolerated in different places. I was just there because I needed something, right? At that time, I was in a position where I was almost like I was a child, so I couldn't really defend myself in the way that I should have been defended. I had to defend myself from people that should have been protecting me. And so when you're growing up in a place like that, where the people that are protecting you are the ones that are actually attacking you, that's when things get a little bit tricky, right? Because it's almost like once you speak up, now you're the bad person, now you're the villain, now you're the one that's crazy, okay? So I just want to sympathize with you guys, because that's the mind trick of that's the way the game is rigged, okay? So in order to escape that, you have to remove yourself from this energy. You have to remove yourself from people, places, and things that do not actually love you, but they tolerate you, that they are not doing for you out of the kindness of their heart, but only because they are getting something out of it. So you need to remove yourself from people who are there only to take, that are greedy, that are selfish, that are only looking to gain or benefit from you in some sort of way. And I know that it's a lot easier said than done, because a lot of this has to do with soul ties. A lot of this has to do with trauma bonding and people using their traumas as a way to gain entrance into your heart, gain entrance into having an attachment to you, attaching themselves to you in any way, shape, or form, whether that's through trauma bonding, whether that's through any sort of back door that anybody can get into to pull strings, mental strings, right? They're literally pulling strings in your mind to make you behave certain ways. They're sitting there with the controller in their mind, thinking that if they press a button, then your arm is going to jerk a certain way. If they do a certain sequence of numbers on this remote, then you're going to do a reaction into correspondence. And so people know this. They're playing on your mind, right? And so this is how the whole game is rigged. We grew up in this, thinking that this is normal, thinking that this should be normalized, that we should just go along with it and not question it, not question the authorities, not just have any sort of inkling or trust our intuition, because they want us to trust them with our intuition, and just kind of like sidestep it or pretend it's not there and kind of just like sweep it under the rug. And I think that's where the underlying message, the underlying blockage, okay, this is very covert. This is something that is like not obvious to the naked eye. It's something that you would be conditioned to living into and becoming so used to it that it becomes your normal reality. And now these people have the key into your reality. They can configure your reality for you through you subconsciously accepting what they need you to, what they want you to see, what they want you to believe. Hang on one second. And so a lot of people's Voices were stolen away from them when they were a child. They were conditioned not to speak on the things that they're going through. They were conditioned that if they spoke up about what they were going through, that something bad would happen to them. And so that's why a lot of people don't speak up on what they're going through. But I'm encouraging you to, if it helps you, if it helps your situation in any way, shape, or form, to share the facts, but also keep your emotions out of it. Keep it stoic. Keep it logical. Keep it realistic. Okay, because that is what people fear the most, is they don't realize that every time somebody takes the initiative to go after you in some way, shape, or form, they're actually giving their power to you without realizing it, thinking that they're taking your power from you, but they're actually giving you their power over them. Because now you have the say so. Now you have the one, now you're the one that's going to decide their fate, okay? And there's a lot of people out there like this. I've seen in a movie where there was this little girl, and she was so innocent. She was in a situation where she witnessed something, and she was so innocent, and she witnessed somebody commit a crime, but she saw why that person committed that crime, what the reason was behind the crime that they committed was. So now when the person was in the room with all other suspects, the police asked her to pick out the person that committed the crime, to basically distinguish who it was out of that entire group. And she said, "He's not here," knowing that he was, right? But she had to say so. She could have decided in that moment that what that person's fate would have been. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people are afraid of. They don't understand, like, the power of certain people in their position. And they may not speak. Their voice may have been taken away. Their memories have been played with. And I know this sounds crazy, but stay with me now. People's memories have been played with. People's memories, they're putting things in the medicine to make you forget certain things, because there are times in my life personally where I can't even remember. I have people from past lives coming to me saying, "Hey, I remember you. You were a light in my time. Were a light in my time of darkness, and I will never forget what you've done for me." And I don't remember. And it's really sad, because a part of me feels like the soul recognition behind it, but my mind, it's like I don't quite remember what they're talking about. I don't remember this version of myself that they're saying that I once was in my life. And the thing is, life is constantly shifting. We're constantly evolving, constantly shifting, and it's like morphing. It's constantly morphing. So you got to realize that sometimes the illusion is, some things are just an illusion, and as time goes by, they will shift and morph and conform and configure to the things that are around them. So in the same way, this is how you will know the type of person that a person truly is within, because you will see how nature reacts to them. You will see whether the plants are dying around them, whether it's lackluster, whether there's less love. You can tell when there's no love in a place, okay? And you can tell when there's no love in a person. And oftentimes places like this will be ran down, like in ruins. That's because of lack of love. And this is the understanding, is that love is the currency. Love is an energetic currency. And that is something that a lot of people actually are trying to imitate, trying to manufacture, trying to put into products to sell the feeling of love. They're selling you the feeling of love, but it's not the true feeling. The true feeling comes from within. The true feeling of love is generated from within, and it's so potent that it can change your entire world. It can change the world, the lives of people around you. Just one inkling of love from somebody who's never received it before can change them, can help them grow, help them heal, be just what they needed to take that goal, to take that action, and do what they wanted to do, and make people believe in themselves. So I'm saying this all to say that we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all look at the same sun and the same moon. We are all sharing the same consciousness. We are all sharing different aspects of the same consciousness, but we're all connected. Our souls are connected, and we are connected to the source here. Okay, so like for example, mushrooms don't just grow. They don't just magically appear. They are connected to the source that is creating those mushrooms, right? Just like it's almost like berries on a fruit. Well, berries on a tree, berries on a bush, or fruits on a tree. The fruit can't exist without the tree, right? The tree is the source. So just like us, we are all connected to the source. The source. It's like a giant database of knowledge and hundreds and centuries of worth of knowledge, like a tree. It's basically like a tree, and we're the fruit of the tree. We are connected to the source. We are connected to the source. And so our consciousness is connected to the source. The source is the fruit. The source is the reason. The source is it's like a giant database of knowledge that has been formed over hundreds and centuries of years. It's like nature already knows us before we do. Nature reflects us. Nature reflects who we are inside, reacts to us, configures itself to us. And I was just talking to my husband the other day, and I was saying how society is already automatically configured to the way that our bodies are within, right? So we have like the highways and the roads. Those are like the veins where the white blood cells and the red blood cells would transfer through and move throughout, right? Throughout the entity. And it's like interesting because then you have your police officers, you have your people who are in power, you have your white blood cells and your red blood cells. And these are meant to protect, meant to defend, meant to repair. And so everybody plays their role as the white blood cell and the red blood cells, which are also within us. Everything that we are doing on the outside is a reflection of us. And so it's a whole infrastructure that is being made, little pieces and parts that are being made into one big piece, into one big entity, which is our society, which is our whole existence, our way of existing. So our bodies are the vessels through which we are transporting ourselves and our soul, right? Our bodies are like vessels, just like how a building is like a vessel to an entity. The building stays the same, but the entities come and go. The building can be possessed by different entities. People rent buildings, they sell buildings. It's like they're passing through, right? But the building remains. And so we forget that this earth is literally like 5-dimensional. There's so many different dimensions that are all stacked up against each other, compiled into one. There's our physical dimension, there's our spiritual dimension, there is the dimension of the unseen, the unheard, but they are there watching and they know everything that's going on. They can feel our thoughts, they can hear our thoughts, they see the things that we think nobody else can see. When you're in alone, that's why I always like to think like you are never quite alone. You're never all the way alone. And sometimes in my mind, I like to think that I'm like a doll in a dollhouse and somebody is playing with my character, right? and they can see everything that's going on. They can see everybody that's occupying the house. They can see who's laying in the bed right now. They can see who's watching TV, who's on the toilet. They can see all of that, right? And I just feel like my life is a movie and I'm being watched by forces unseen, right? Because that is the truth. We are all being monitored, watched, and almost like guided. It's like somebody could stick their hand in your life and make something work out for you if they wanted to. It's like somebody could stick their hand in your life and make something work out for you if they wanted to. If they wanted to send you a person, they would send you a person in your life to teach you a lesson, okay? So this is how life is with its people. Life itself. And then you in life, and how you treat life is how life is going to treat you, okay? So it's like building that relationship with life itself, building that connection with the source, building that unity within yourself, and having that love for yourself, which also reflects in your life. And if you love yourself, you love life. Life will give you more reasons to love yourself. If you are grateful, then life will give you more reasons to be grateful. If you are happy, life will give you more reasons to be happy. But if you're constantly focusing on the negatives, you are actually magnifying the negatives in your life. And it's harder and it's easier said than done, because it can be very easy to slip and fall into like the rabbit hole. But that's why it's hard to get out of that rabbit hole once you have already started that momentum, once you have already rolled the ball in that direction. Now it's gaining momentum. Now it's gaining traction like a snowball, right? And then eventually it becomes so big that nothing can stop it, right? So that's how you want to think. If you want to align yourself energetically with the type of life that you desire. And you can do this without having all the money in the world. You can do this without doing all of the things that society tells you need to do, okay? Society tells you have to go out and get a job. Society tells you have to get a car. You have to have a house. You have to get married. You have to go graduate college. You have to do all of these things. But in reality, all you need is yourself. All you need is yourself. Because I am right now, as we speak, defying odds. I'm defying all the odds that were stacked up against me just by being myself, right? And sometimes I feel a little raw when I'm the only one showing my true face in a world that is like a costume party for a lot of people. They are just wearing masks, and I'm the only one that is not wearing a mask. And so it intimidates people. It kind of ruffles their feathers. It makes them tick. It makes them shiver in their skin, right? It makes them feel unsettled that I'm truly just being myself, and they have to kind of like wear a mask to feel accepted, to feel valued, because they are manufacturing the feelings that are truly desired, the authenticity behind those feelings. There are a lot of people that try to imitate these, try to put it in a box and make profit off of it, selling the feeling of love, right? Because they're selling the feeling of love to people who feel like they don't quite have the love that they wish that they had or desire. And we need to understand that love truly comes from within. It's generated from within, and it begins to reflect on the outside. And love is the biggest form of abundance you can have in your life, okay? If you have love, you have all you need. That's right. Yep. If you have love, you have all you need. Love is the most protective form of energy. Love will protect you. And even spirits will have love for you and reflect your love back to you in ways that you can't even explain. You will experience coincidences that are shocking in some ways because of the love that the spirit realms have for you. because of the love that you exude, the love that you share with nature, that you share with life itself. You're co-creating. You are co-creating with the universe. And it's like an infinity sign. It goes back and it goes forth, and it goes back and it goes forth. And the universe is creating itself through you, as you are creating yourself through the universe. And you have to understand that how you treat yourself, the universe will also treat you. And other people will see this and they will begin to treat you the same way. So when you remove yourself from situations that make you feel less than, if you felt like you had to lower your standards to be in a relationship, to be with somebody, to be around certain people, those are not your people, okay? And sometimes it's better to be alone than to be around people who are only there to take from you, okay? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to have anything for yourself if you are not taking care of yourself. You're neglecting yourself instead of taking care of the people around you. You're neglecting yourself in order to take care of people around you. And when you have nothing left for yourself, they're not going to be there for you. So you have to understand and learn how to lay boundaries down. Learn how to put boundaries. Learn how to put down boundaries. Right. Boundaries was one of the biggest lessons I had to learn in my life, because I grew up, some people grow up feeling like they've been tolerated, feeling like they were not loved, feeling like they were not appreciated, feeling like the lack of love. And so they felt like they had to overcompensate in order to feel that appreciation that they have always wanted. They believed in their heart that if they gave, then they would also receive. But sometimes the world is so unkind and so cruel that all they do is take. So there's this illusion that if you give, you will receive. And that's not necessarily the case all the time. In many ways, yes, it is. If you give, you will receive in ways that you don't expect. And you will experience karma in ways that seem coincidental, but in reality, it's because of what you have put out, whether it was 10, 20, 25, 50 years ago. These things will always come back to you in little ways, letting you know that the universe is watching, that the universe knows what's in your heart, that the universe sees what goes on in your mind, right? And you can put on a mask and fool the people around you, but at the end of the day, the universe sees. The trees see, the animals see, the birds see you, the ants, the bugs, the grass, everything sees you and knows you for who you truly are. And will reflect that on the outside. So oftentimes a person who is abundant, who has love within themselves, will be surrounded by abundance, by the nature, surrounded by Mother Nature rewarding them with fruits, with gardens, with beautiful flowers. This is how nature rewards you. Whatever you give nature, nature will reward you. Okay? Nature is a consciousness. Nature is also connected to the consciousness, to the source. We are all part of the source. We are all co-creating with nature, just like the squirrels in the trees and the birds and the animals. All of us are co-creating together. We are all coexisting together. And so that's why I always pay attention to how people treat animals, because that says a lot about their character, right? So if somebody is cruel to animals, then that's not somebody you would want to have around you, or cruel to, children, right? And there's a lot of people that act like they love children, but they will put themselves in a position to prey on children. They will become teachers so they can prey on children. There's a lot of people that will become priests and priestesses, church leaders, but they're actually demonic in nature. There's a lot of people that are in power that are actually there because of greed. Yes, it is an energetic thing where you can control the room just by your energy alone. You can control the room just by your energy alone. The words that are spoken, the words that you speak when you're alone are going to reflect in your outside life. They're going to reflect your life as a whole, right? The words, the conversations you have with yourself when you're alone are going to be a reflection. They're going to show on the outside, and people are going to be able to see, okay? So when you look in the mirror and the things that you think are going to show on your face. They're going to show in how people see you. They're going to show in how people treat you. So you have to be kind to yourself, okay? Give yourself grace. Be easy with yourself. And if you feel like you're lacking in something, do things to make yourself feel more secure within yourself, whether that means taking care of yourself, whether that means taking a bath, doing the things that make you happy, indulging in hobbies that give you healing, because that's what matters. Healing is the goal. Healing is the purpose. It's about progression, moving forward, not moving backwards. So a lot of us have to remember that we have to be strong for a reason, because we're put in a position to lead. We're put in a position to guide others who are going to soon be following in our footsteps. Because right now, time is important, and we forget that everything we do, all of our actions affect everyone around us for the years and the time and the centuries to come. So when you heal, you're not just healing for yourself, but you're healing for your family, you're healing for your bloodline, you're healing for everyone around you, and you're healing for the people after you in your life. Your grandchildren, your grandchildren's children. So healing is something that is easier said than done, but it definitely can be done, because I'm a walking testimony of the healing process. Healing is something that cannot be bought. It's something that cannot be transferred. It's something that can only be gained through wisdom and experience. And so when people tend to underestimate the power of healing, they're like, oh nah, I'm not ready to deal with this. I'm not ready to face my shadow. I'm not ready to do this, so I'm going to numb myself with substances. I'm going to go to the club every night. I'm going to go party. I'm going to go live this hot girl life. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you don't want to come home to nothing. When you heal, you're coming home to yourself, right? So that's the thing. You want to be secure within yourself and not feel like you have to use external things as a crutch to help you feel fine, to help you deal with the harsh realities of this world. And this is coming from somebody who was actually a scapegoat. So they always say the black sheep always turns out to be the goat. And yes, as a child, I have been the biggest scapegoat of my entire family. On my father's side, I've been excluded pretty much from everything, every family, every corner of my family. And yet they all know of the things that have happened, and they all know of everything that I have experienced, but they never stepped in to help. They never bothered to ask if I was okay. They never asked if they could be a part of my life. They have never even tried to be a part of my life. And so now that I'm healed, or I'm healing, these people are coming into my life and they're asking me questions. They're acting like they have cared the whole time. They're pretending that they love me, and I can see right through them, because I'm healed enough to not allow myself to step back into situations that would break me again, right? And this is often the times where people will come into your life and test the temperatures with you, try to see if you would let them back into your life, to allow them back into your life, to continue to do what they have done to you before in the past. So the way that I get over that a lot of the times is, I personally kept going back until I just fell out of love. And sometimes that's what it takes, is everything is basically you doing it to yourself. So that's the harsh reality, is you realizing that and finally taking a step back and looking at the situation objectively, gaining a logical perspective of the situation at hand, instead of taking your emotions and letting it be letting yourself be consumed by your emotions, then taking actions out on your emotions, taking actions that are emotionally charged instead of done with logic. This is where you will fall into the trap that is set by the enemy, because they are preying on your energy. They're preying on your emotions, okay? Your emotions are power, and you need to learn to control and rein them in when necessary. Because I understand, like, there's a lot of people that, like, it's totally valid if they wanted to crash out, right? But you have to look at it from a wider perspective and not see the trees for the forest, or see the forest for the trees type of thing, right? It's like you have to pick your battles very wisely. You have to decide, is this something that I would want to energetically have a transaction with, right? You're basically paying them your energy. You're paying them. It's like a paycheck to them, okay? Because there are people that feed off of your energy. Your energy is your emotions. And when you act out of your emotions, you're paying them. You're literally, you might as well just take a bag of money and just put it in your hands, because that's how they're seeing you, okay? They're seeing you as supply. They're seeing you as kind of like a lot of us are like scapegoats, where we were seen as the one that was the punching bag of the family, the entire family. We are seen as the one that was the punching bag, that was the one that got kicked out and left to the wolves. And some of us sink and some of us swim, but they expected us not to be able to survive, to not be able to ever be seen or heard again. But I am that one. I'm that one that they left to the wolves. They fed me. They hand-fed me to the wolves. And I'm still here today. I'm still here. And a lot of the things that should have happened in my life did not. Miraculously, by some magical force. It's almost like I've been protected my whole life from things that should have basically took me out, right? And for a lot of people, they don't have that layer of protection. Right? They don't have that layer of protection. And so that is something that has been present in my life. And I'm not sure. There's just something I can't explain. It's like an invisible force that is surrounding me, that is protecting me and my loved ones from any type of danger. And I'm telling you, I could have been into car crashes. I could have gotten into devastating situations. I could have ended up in the hospital. I could have like really got messed up. And for some reason, it's like there was always like a cushion there to cushion the fall. There was always something there. There was always this magical way of people removing themselves right before something something devastating could have happened, right? It's like something pulled me out. Something ripped me out of a situation that was literally conspiring to swallow me whole. And so that all comes with the love of life itself. And whatever you believe in, whether it's God, whether it's Allah, whether it's Buddhism, it doesn't matter what you believe in, as long as you have that faith within yourself and you are connected to the higher powers that be. You will have that layer of protection. You will have that love that surrounds you, that is like a force field protecting you. Okay? So you are protected like his children in any way, shape, or form. There are forces seen and unseen protecting you at this time. So if this message made sense to you in any way, shape, or form, definitely give a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys again in the next one. Bye!